Hi, crafty friends. This is Amanda. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in the very snowy Michigan. Thanks for watching my 30-second video. Yeah, we're going to do something a little bit, well, not different. I mean, everything's a little bit different on my channel, but we're going to use this Valentine's Keepsake stamp set. And although it's made for a box die, we're going to use it on a card. And I needed to come up with a color palette, so I got out my catalog, found some pinks that would go together nicely from one of the suites, and then took out this really cute stamp that has the hearts that are growing on vines, kind of like, instead of flowers, they're hearts growing. So I took my markers, Real Red, Flirty Flamingo, and Petal Pink, and Just Jade, and I colored my stamp set so that I could have different, 3 different colors rather than just a blackout color or one color. Then I'm going to huff on it, going on my stamp and putting it down. A Stamparatus is really good for this. I use the brush side of my marker, and this is the reason that we have markers. I mean, yes, it's good to be able to write. There's a writing side of your marker on it, and you can scribble and get some pigment off that way. But this is the main reason that I have these Stamp and Write markers, is specifically so that if I wish to, I can color a stamp. Now, after I get this stamped pretty well primed, after I use it like twice, I don't have to restamp very much. So this works out really great. I did make a mark with an alcohol marker on the back of my stamp, so I kind of knew what would be straight and how to line it up. And then again, I just colored everything in with the same markers. So I wanted to show you guys this. I'm gonna repeat it several times, just again so that you can see it clearly. I had a terrible week. My cord that goes from my camera to the monitor so I can watch myself, that went kapooey, and something happened. I don't know. The wires did something. I don't know. And so then I couldn't watch myself. So I was doing this blind. And for those of you that do this blind, you have my awe, because this was so difficult to know what I was doing and where I should be placing my hands and, what was in focus. It was very uncomfortable for me. And not only that, but I lost lots of footage. I was recording when I thought that I wasn't recording, and I wasn't recording when I thought that I was recording. And oh my goodness, I had quite the week this week. Lots of things went wrong. I misplaced a die set that I wanted to use. So yeah, I've decided to go and do 2 of these strips, one for a vertical and one for a horizontal card. And that's why you see the strip up there that's already done, and me doing this. I don't even know what to call it. Different color stamping, marker stamping. I'm sure that there's a name for this. If you know the name of this particular, I guess it's a technique, I don't know, please let me know in the comment section below, because I don't know how to put it. I don't know how to describe it. Use your markers to color things. So yeah, so unfortunately for this stamp set, they do not work where you can just move the Stamparatus down one. You actually have to line it up each time, which is a little bit of a hassle, but I think it's worth it. I mean, look how cute that is. And I know I do 5x7 cards, so, I have to have a little bit, do a little bit more work, because that's the size card I choose to make. Every time I do this, I stamp, I use my tidy towel. I know that's not the name of it, but the towel. And then, so I wipe it off, and then I dry it off, and then start again. So that will be something that you guys will want to do too. This DSP, even though the colors supposedly were all, the Flirty Flamingo and the other pink and the Real Red or Poppy Parade, because they're interchangeable pretty much as far as I'm concerned. Those, even though they looked like they were all on this piece of pattern paper, when I took it to my panel that I made, I didn't like it. So I ended up not using it, but I was glad to have that resource of which pinks that I could use or should use on, this card. That's a great resource of our catalogs. Although our catalogs are, to show you which products we have, every page has a card that you can either case or the suites have those color suggestions. And that's a perfect way to grab some ideas. If you want to case a card in there, I would suggest that if you have no other option, if you're blank, I would start with your catalog. There's some great resources in there. Then go to Pinterest and other things. But that's, if you don't know where to start in your catalog. There's normally cards for beginner or intermediate, and I don't want to say professional, but more than skilled demonstrator, I guess, level. So there's all types of cards in there for everyone to do. I'm now going through the lots of hearts die, and I'm like, well, maybe I want a large heart on my card, because really, I don't know what I'm doing. I started off going to use the stamp set In Bloom, and then I didn't really know what to do with it. So I started looking on Pinterest for a card sketch, and I was like, oh, I know what I can do now. So that's why I moved over to this Valentine Keepsake. So I still have no idea what I'm doing on this card. This is truly a process card. It did take me 2 days because I was having such a rough week. It was not a good week. And so, yeah, I just played most of the, I'm not the type of person that can see things. So I had to visualize everything. And so I cut out lots of different stuff, and, then I have it for next time, I guess. I'm trying a little bit of real red underneath it. It might be Poppy Parade. It's a little bit bright. It might be Poppy Parade. I think it actually is instead of real red. And then I grab another heart out of my stack, a heart die, and die cut it even bigger to say, okay, maybe I want something large for a sentiment. You know what I mean? I'm like, okay. And then I do something completely stupid. This doesn't work. Adding twine to this cutout of, this object where it's like adding twine to a triangle. It really it doesn't work. And I knew that before I did it. I did try to add some crystal effects to my larger hearts. I did not like that because the one I opened was so cool. It was cold in the basement. You know what I mean? It was so cold that it was stiff to get out. So it really didn't ooze out correctly. So I just didn't like it. And then I thought, well, I've never used this dye. Let's check out this dye I can do. A green and then a shade of a pink that I wanted, add some rhinestones to it, color them up with some of my alcohol markers. And I didn't know if I liked that. So I put that to the side, and I just went upstairs and left it for the day. And then this is now the next day. And I'm like, okay, let's rethink this. Let's stamp those hearts that are in the background as like some DSP. And I did it tone on tone. So this is, oh my goodness, Flirty Flamingo. That was like a complete brain freeze. Flirty Flamingo on top of Flirty Flamingo. So the ink Flirty Flamingo on top of Flirty Flamingo just adds a hint of color. I know it looks a little bit brighter here, but it's really not that bright. And yes, I know that last one is really wonky. And when I look at it, I'm like, oh, I have to redo it. I just can't leave it like this. So I remove everything. Oh, yeah. And you can see it. Oh. But I really like this panel. This is the entire reason that I got the stamp set was this particular stamp, because I thought it was so cute. And I thought, well, I can do something with this. I know I can. It just took me 2 days. Oh my goodness. Has that ever happened to you guys when you decided to buy a stamp set because of one stamp and then you were determined to use it no matter what? I'd love for you guys to let me know in the comment section below. Now, I don't think that I add my mark here on the back of my stamp, and I should have, because right here I make the fatal mistake and it's over again. But I decided, I've already turned around the piece of paper once. I'm not going to do it again. I will just add some rhinestones to it. And I think I ended up drawing your eye there with where I placed the rhinestones. So you'll have to let me know. I wanted to pop up this panel. So instead of using some of the dimensionals, I used some fun foam in a really pretty purple. And popped it up that way. I sometimes use fun foam. I sometimes use the dimensionals. I sometimes use the adhesive foam sheets, just whatever. Sometimes I use double or triple paper because it's a little bit more environmentally friendly. But today I didn't really want to cut out or cut these a million times. So I just decided to use this, but you can see that right there. Oh, see where those hearts are not perfectly perfect. All right, this heart was not, it went over the edge. And then when I cut it, you could see the dimensional behind it. So I just used the alcohol marker in Poppy Parade to color the dimensional, and that worked out pretty well. And then I'll just look for a sentiment. And I just got my recent order in from Stampin Up, so I didn't have a Valentine's stamp yet. So I will use the sentiment that says "Be Mine." And I do have a haul. I don't know if you guys like that. I mean, sometimes I like to watch hauls. I think I purchased about $300 worth of items. So if you guys would like to see what I did, maybe I'll put it up. I don't know. Then I thought for this vertical card, I do some foiling. I haven't done that in like 3 days. So I'm like, I'll do some foiling. And I had some really light pink, and I put that on Flirty Flamingo, and I thought that would be a good fit. Went over, I foiled it, and then I thought I'd make a card panel. So I have a panel on a panel. I do need to put a sentiment on that, but I will. You guys have a wonderful day. If you know what that marker technique is, direct to stamp, let me know. And let me know if you think I should add this viney heart. Yeah, the viney heart, not grape. I don't know where that came from. The viney heart to one of these cards. Tell me if you like either one of them. I am in such a blah mood that I don't know if I like them now that I've done them. I do like the foiling, but that's about it. So you guys have a marvelous day. I'll see you in my next video, which should be up shortly. Thanks, guys.